interesting thing. A lot of people don't realise what they're involved in. Just the simple fact of using credit cards, using smartphones, and all of this automated system is the problem. People don't realise what it is. This system we're being led into is the New World Order in itself. The 5G smart grid is the New World Order, the Internet of Things. It's the New World Order. People don't really understand how that works, but what it's about is monitoring every single aspect of your life. The smart grid is being presented to people as this thing that's going to be highly beneficial to us. You know, you'll only be using the electricity that you use, you'll only be paying for that, all this sort of stuff. So it's been presented as a really positive thing. But what it will do, it will put a dollar value on absolutely every aspect of your life. So that every time you turn on a tap, the credit goes. Every time you turn on a light, every time you watch your TV, every time you boil your jug, every time you do anything, there's a dollar value attached to it. There's an interesting TV show that came out a couple of years ago called Black Mirror, and they had one episode of that where everybody, the only job they had was running on a treadmill or spinning a bike and just to accumulate credits, and they had to pay for every single action that they performed. And that's what the smart grid is. That's what we're being led into. And it's all about digital currency and control of everything. And if you're someone who lives a slightly alternate lifestyle, say you grow a few vegetables and you give some to your neighbours, or you do a little bit of massage for someone, or you do a bit of tarot reading or something like this, the only way you're going to be able to get paid for that once the smart grid comes online is through the transfer of digital credits, which means the government will get a tax. You'll have to put it on your income tax, or everything will be monitored. That's what it's about, complete blanket surveillance of every single action people are doing. That's what the smart grid is. And it's being rolled out underneath everything else while we're arguing about all of these issues and being given all of these global conflicts and all of this theatre of politics to fight and squabble about. Underneath all of that is this smart grid. And it's rolling out very, very quickly. And the smart grid, the 5G grid, underlying that is the fact that the 5G system that they're using to run the smart grid, the Internet of Things, has also been used by the military. It's a military-grade technology. It's basically an active denial system. So the 5G grid not only will track everything you do, it can be used as a weapon. It can be used as a microwave cannon. It can be used to disable people, to track people. You can see through walls. You can see what you're carrying, whether you're carrying money, whether you're carrying a weapon, all of this sort of stuff. So it's very, very evasive. Plus it does all sorts of damage to us biologically. You know, it damages our cell structure, damages the cell structure of all food, changes the cell structure of everything that it comes into contact with. And the 5G system will be a blanket system, blanket wave of communication. You know, we've got situations now where you lose signal on your mobile phone if you move too far away from a tower. That won't happen with the 5G. It will be everywhere, right across the country, in rural areas, everywhere. You'll be able to get perfect signal. So everyone's going to kind of welcome this, but they don't realise what it is. It's about everything talking to everything else and everything tracking everything else. And also with the smart grid, it turns virtually every smart appliance into a surveillance system. There's been a new law passed in Australia where police have just been given the permission to tune into smart devices and listen to what's going on in people's homes. They can tune into your refrigerator. A lot of people don't realise your smart fridge has a microphone. They can tune in and listen to the conversations you're having in your kitchen. So anybody who's targeted for any reason at all, if they've got suspicions about anybody, they can just tune in, listen to their devices, their mobile phones, their refrigerators, their televisions, turn their cameras on, watch them through the television, all the stuff that they're doing. This is what the smart grid is. And this is being rolled out underneath everything. And we've got so many people distracted on so many issues trying to address the government corruption and all of this stuff. They're not realising that this is all rolling out. And in another 3 or 4 to 5 years, they're just going to wake up and go, what happened? How do I suddenly find myself in this digital prison? Because that's what it is. That's virtually what it is. It's a digital prison, a digital control grid. And if you want to participate in this society, you're going to have to participate in the smart grid. So we need to look at what it is and what it's going to be used for, and realise that the technology that we've got, we could use for our benefit. You know, all of this stuff could be used in completely different ways, in completely different directions. A smart grid could be used to the great benefit of mankind, and it's being presented in that way. But when you look at the people who are running it, the people who are running the world, well, the world's run by criminals, and they're not going to use this in the right way. They have no intention of it. And if you look at some of the white papers they've put out themselves, papers that have been put out by the Pentagon recently, that talk about a federal vision for future computing and the nanotechnology grand challenge, and they talk about this 15-year plan they've got to roll all this out and eventually hand it all over to AI to control. And when we get to that point, then we've got the entire human experience being controlled by a machine, which will dictate everything according to an economic value and dictate everybody's value according to their economic worth. So this is a very, very bad situation for mankind to be led into under the guise of convenience and making our lives easier. It's really not going to do that at all. Well, they're doing it through the Internet of Things is how it's all being rolled out. And basically what is essential for the whole thing to happen is digital currency. They've got to digitize currency, remove all cash from the system. And you're getting that here in Denmark. We were discussing with people today, you can only ride the trains, you've got to pay for it with your mobile phone. What if you don't have a mobile phone? And if you don't log on, you've got to log on to the train, and then if you don't log off when you get off the train, it keeps taking your money, and suddenly your account has been depleted because you forgot to log off when you get off the train. Now, they could make all these sorts of things convenient. Now, you could pay for that, and you could just gauge your trip. You didn't have to log off. But they do that so that it depletes your account so that people want the smart grid. They make all these inconveniences. They put all these systems in place that make it inconvenient for you. You could forget to log off. You could forget to swipe your card when you leave the train. So suddenly all your money's gone. So they put these situations in place to make people want this grid to come online. Recently, when I came to check into the United States, I got to the passport counter. 16 counters there, 2 of them were open. 4 aeroplanes arrived, 1,200 people waiting to get through. 2 passport counters. Took us 2.5 hours to get our passports stamped, because that way you want the retinal scanners, you want the smart grid. It's much more convenient. So they make it inconvenient for you all across the world. And people don't notice it. They just think it's hard to do things, and they want it. They welcome it. And meanwhile, they're focused on all these battles and all these theatres of politics and all this stuff that they think is the problem, because they think they can address it. They think we can vote people in, vote people out, whatever, put a new figurehead up there that will do the right thing for us. But underneath it all is this grid. And that's how they're going to do it. They just make it very, very inconvenient for you not to participate in the smart system. And it's so much easier when you do. And so people welcome it. And that's the way it's going. A lot of people are going to welcome this smart system. A lot of people are going to welcome instant communication. They're going to see it as a way to free the world. And like I said, it could be used to free the world, but it's not. It's going to be used to lock down the world, because underneath it is the surveillance system that is the smart grid, and underneath that is the weapons system that it can be turned into if you don't comply with the smart grid. And it gets to the point where if you do decide not to comply, you become a dissident, they can simply switch you off, switch your chip off. And once it's all digital and you need that chip to get into your car, to get into your house, to access your bank account, to buy things, it's all automatic. Suddenly you're locked out of the system. So there's no hope of dissent. There's no hope of free thought. There's no hope of questioning any of this. You just have to simply go with the flow. Because in the smart grid, there will only be 2 types of human beings that they're really concerned with. The smart grid will only, because it's going to be run by AI, it'll only look at 2 types of human beings, those that are desirable and those that are undesirable. And that's it. That'll be the 2 classes that you're in. And where you are in the food chain will be measured according to your economic worth. And that's another important thing people need to look about AI and what is going to be running the system, is the fact that it's judging everybody according to their economic worth. It's putting a dollar value on everything. And all you've got to do is go and analyse a corporation to realise it's a psychopath. So when you've got a system that is putting an economic value on every human life and every human action, this is a psychopathic system that will discard people if they cannot pay for every action they perform. And life was never supposed to be like that. But, they'll just do it through the convenience and do it through making life so inconvenient for people if they don't participate. And they're doing it here, they're doing it everywhere. Every country that I go to, I can see elements leading towards a cashless society. And it's being done under the guise of convenience, but that is the catalyst that's going to hold it all together.
Right. Well, here we go. Right. Proverbs chapter 29, verse 1. He that being often reproved hardeneth in his neck shall suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy. Verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rahaba Kakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for pushing 100% truth who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom. This is Matazal Lacham, making this video on the pagan holiday of Thanksgiving. These Edomite devils, everybody's family is trying to put together some sort of dinner so this way they could all group worship a false god that cannot save. Okay? But like I said before, my family's in it, everybody's family's in it, because we all got members of our families that are just hard-headed and stiff-necked. They don't want to turn away from the tradition of doing this bullshit every year. You just left the tradition of the worship of Samhain, which is evil spirits, and the Day of the Dead, of worshiping even more evil spirits on November the 1st. What the fuck? Okay? And now you're going off into another pagan holiday. See, I hate this time of year, because it's like after every 2 weeks there's a goddamn another pagan holiday that these devils want you to worship. Okay? And it just doesn't make any sense. And then the biggest one of all, the biggest two have yet to come to pass, which is what they call Christmas, right? Christ Mass, which is in reference to a celebration of the crucifixion of the Son of the Most High. But they say, that he was born in the winter months. The Bible clearly tells you that Yahushua was born during the springtime and summer months, because of the description of the angels that appeared over the shepherds who were in a field, and they were sheep herding the sheep. Okay? You can only feed the sheep during that time and be a shepherd during that time, which is in the spring and summertime months. And Yahushua, the one the world ignorantly calls Jeebus Cross, was born during that time. Okay? I mean, shit. Nobody's paying attention to the details. They're just going through the story. He wasn't born in no fucking winter time. I mean, come on, man. Really? And then sent to Africa during the winter. Okay? I think in Africa, the coldest it's going to get in December is like 100 degrees outside. Okay? So how the fuck? I mean, whatever, man. I don't know. It just irks me that, my family, they do this every year. It's a tradition with them. I won't even lie. It used to be a tradition with me, but now that I know the truth, I'm coming to the truth, and I repented, and I've asked the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah to watch over me and my family, especially my daughter. Souls this way, he would lead us out of this trouble that's coming towards Jacob at 100 miles an hour. Now, you just saw the video with Max Egan. The digital grid is the image of the beast that they want. And the image that they want two different types of people, right? They want people that are compatible with the system. And those that are incompatible with the system, they're going to put you to death, right? Right. Isaiah chapter 36, verse 6. Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed, on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him. Right? So, who is the king of Egypt right now? Agent Orange, Nero 47. Okay? Agent Orange, because his makeup allows him to look orange in front of a television screen. Okay? He's an orange-colored devil. Okay? Too much makeup, right? He's a narcissistic asshole anyway. But anyway, the king of Egypt, okay, the Pharaoh, you could put anybody in the position of Pharaoh, just like you could put anybody in the position of Caesar. Okay? Anybody. The power seat is there. The military backs the power seat. This is what Donald Trump has been trying to do with Project 2025. Okay? Project 2025 goes into Project 2030. When he got elected, he took off from, he picked up from where he left off in 2016, 2017 when he was voted out of office. Okay? Anyway, like I said before, Job chapter 14, right? Verse 5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. Okay? Let's go in here and get bounds. Right? Oh, if it'll work, I don't know. Let me see. His bounds.
Strong's H 2706. Chok.
Statute, ordinance, limit, something prescribed. Do, a prescribed task. Okay? So it's biblical prophecy. Okay? This is prescribed by the Most High God that he do this. Right? Prescribed portion. Action prescribed. Right? Prescribed limit. Boundary. Ordinance. Specific decree. Enactment. Law in general. Okay? Okay? The man was just talking about they're going to make it a law. The lady before that on a different video, I think I can go get it. What she was talking about also. Let me see if I can let me see if I can go back and let me see. I think this is it. Hold on. Right, there it is, right here.
Trump was put in by the bankers to get the control grid. He's moving very, very fast. First, he's getting the Real ID implemented very aggressively. Real ID. To do a control grid, you need a very high-quality, precision national ID. And he's got Kristi Noem out there pushing the Real ID like there's no tomorrow. The feds are pushing it. The second thing you need is an all-digital financial system. So you got to kill cash, and you got to make everybody interact digitally. He's canceled pennies, but he's also canceled now. You know, normally I pay my taxes with paper, and now he's saying, no, you got to do everything digital. He's trying to, if you go through that list, I've got 50 different items of what he's doing. If you think this is improvement, you have another thing coming. This is going to be the digital equivalent of the pallets of cash into Iraq. But you're literally going to tender for the global population, try and get everybody off of their local currency into stable coins, and you're going to pump out massive amounts of private credit to make it really attractive.
You don't think the BRICS would try to compete with this?
I think as soon as you pass the Genius Act, it can go very, very fast. You could really see the world rock. Trump and Musk are implementing the control grid at high speed. To do a control grid, we need a digital ID implemented that's very high quality, high precise. Check the box. We need an all-digital financial system. Check the box. You know, we need a way of doing interoperable money. Check the box. We need a social credit system. To me, I want to build a social credit system that can be used to enforce control against the American people and basically lock them down with both enforcement and social credit. I would privatize it. I would just take it and put it in private AI with XAI and Palantir.
See? And this is what they plan on doing, man. This is the crazy shit. All right. So, specific decree, enactment, statutes, conditions, decrees, civil enactments prescribed by the Most High. Okay. So, portion, commandments, okay, bounds, and enactment, hence an appointment of time, space, quantity, labor, or usage. Appointed, bound, commandment, convenience. See? Custom, decree, do, law, measure. Okay? So, this is prescribed by law, right? Okay, Hebrew Chaldee lexicon, properly that which is established or definite. Okay? So, they're establishing this new power grid. Okay? See what I'm saying? And this power grid goes into, Jacob's trouble. A lot of people ain't seeing this coming. Right here it is. Verse 17. Matthew chapter 10, verse 17. But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues. Ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. But when they deliver you up, take no thought of how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak. For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents, and cause them to be put to death. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved. Right? So, Matthew chapter 10, verse 26. Fear them not, therefore, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, and hid that shall not be known. Okay? So, this is all this has been biblically prophesied to come about. And it's pretty much nothing that anyone can do about it. This is the will of the Most High God, because the faster this shit jumps off means that the Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is going to speed up time. For the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Let's read it. Okay, let's see. Luke chapter 21, verse 22. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. Right? Luke 21, verse 26. Men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. Okay? People, when they implement this digital grid, which is the image of the beast, okay? The image of the beast. This is their image that they want to portray. Remember Max Egan at the first of the video. This is the image that they want to portray, okay? That, everybody they want compliance. Those that are uncompliant will be cut off and slowly choked out of the digital system, because they have to do away with cash. You heard the woman say, you heard Max Egan say it, they have to do away with cash money. They got to get rid of it, okay, in order to push the digital currency, because people still have a dependence on using cash as opposed to digital currency. But like Max Egan said, if you forget to log off on your credit card or digital ID or whatever, if you forget to log out, okay, they'll keep taking your money. Then once they continue to keep taking your money, that's the danger of a digital power grid. Okay, you might forget. It's possible. You're a human being. You're not perfect. You're gonna forget. They're gonna take your money. You look up. You want to pay this bill. You can't. There's no money. What the fuck? I just got paid. I don't understand. You go back and search everything. You forgot to log out. Shit. So now you got to go back to work and work some more money. Work for free to get some more money, so this way you can pay that bill. Now you got late fees. You see how this shit just goddamn snowballs? Okay, this is Esau Edom's kingdom falling at a 45-degree angle on axle green with roller skates on. There's no handhold in sight. Okay, praise the Lord. Call Allah Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rahabakakadash. Right? Men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. Then shall they see the Son of Man coming in power, in a cloud with power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption is draweth nigh. See? Now, but a lot of our people, they just ain't got no, This is in the mindset of a lot of our people. It's still in the world, and it's not just our people, but also the peoples of the American people in America. They're still going on about goddamn Thanksgiving, right? Which is the worship of these Edomites of their conquering the indigenous population of people. Okay. Oh wait, let's go get that one. Y'all might. Boom. Yeah, let me get it. Hold on, let me see. Bam. Screenshots, no. Right. Okay, is that it? No, it's the other one. Okay, Salakia. Alrighty. Let me see if I can get down to the bottom. Alrighty. Hold on. Let me see if I can find that picture. Because that's crazy, man. Hold on. What's this? What did he say? Oh yeah, they're talking about the what do you call them? The Israeli lobbyists. Hold on, let me see. See, I can't find it now. Where is it? What Christopher Columbus said about the people. There it is. This punk motherfucker right here. For Thanksgiving, right? The Indians are so naive and so free with their possessions that no one who has not witnessed them would not believe it. When you ask for something, they never say no. To the contrary, they offer to share with anyone. They would make fine servants. With 50 men, we could subjugate them all and make them do whatever we want. Christopher Columbus, Cristobal Colon. This is the individual that raped, murdered, and pillaged and stole America from the indigenous population of people that were here. Okay? Says the same thing. Okay? Because I had to throw this in for the Thanksgiving holiday, right? As soon as I arrived in the Indies on the first island which I found, I took some of the natives by force in order that they might learn and might give me information of what there is in these parts. They do not bear arms and do not know them, for I showed them a sword. They took it and by the edge and cut themselves out of ignorance. They have no iron. Their spears are made of cane. They would make fine servants. With 50 men, we could subjugate them all and make them do whatever we want. Right? Class warfare. See what I'm saying? That's how they did it. Rape, murder, and pillage. Right? All right. Take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares. For as a snare it shall come upon all them that dwell on the face of the earth.